So on the SAT, they like to basically test your knowledge between adjectives and adverbs. Okay, so you need to basically know when to use each, right? When to use an adjective and when to use an adverb. Well, adjectives, if you remember, are descriptive words, and they describe nouns, so people, places, or things, right? So an adjective might be something like fast, right? He is fast, because that's describing a person, okay? Now, adverbs describe verbs, so those are actions or other adverbs. So, for example, he talked quickly, right? I would use quickly, which is an adverb, because it's describing how he's talking, all right? So what you want to decide, right, on this test, if you're between an adjective or an adverb, is what is it describing, okay? Because if it's describing a thing, a noun, then an adjective is what you want. If it's describing an action, like a verb, you want to use an adverb. All right, so let's go through some of these examples and see which would be correct and which one wouldn't be. All right, well, let's start with number 1. It says, he couldn't help that he walked slow. All right, the problem here is slow. Okay, slow is a adjective, right? He is slow. Okay, but here, what is slow describing? It's describing how he walked, right? Which is not a thing, it's a verb, it's an action, how he walked, right? So really, this should be slowly, all right? So he couldn't help that he walked slowly, okay? The second one, I felt bad that she couldn't go, all right? Here is an adjective, bad, right? You can use it to describe any type of thing, right? So that person is bad, that place is bad, that thing is bad. Okay, so bad is an adjective. Now, what is it describing here? Well, this is one that people say all the time. I felt bad that she couldn't go. But in reality, bad is describing how you felt, right? It's not describing your feelings. It's not saying that your feeling is bad. It's a bad feeling. It's saying that I felt bad, right? It's describing how I felt, all right? So this should actually be badly, right? I felt badly that she couldn't go. That might sound really, really weird to you, all right? But on this test, that's why it's important to know, right? You can't always trust your ear. You have to know the technical rules so that you know whether something is actually used correctly or if people just get it wrong a lot in everyday life, okay? Let's go to number 3. The trash smelled surprisingly badly. All right, now this sentence might also sound really weird to you, but we're going to go through it technically and see if each one of these adverbs is being used correctly. Let's start with surprisingly, okay? What is surprisingly describing? Well, it's not describing the trash because it's not saying the trash was surprising. And it's not describing how the trash smelled, right? Because it's not saying this smelled surprising. It's actually describing how badly the trash smelled. All right? So it's describing another adverb. So this word is actually okay, because you have an adverb that's describing another adverb, we're good. All right? Now, let's talk about badly. What is badly describing? Well, you want to be very careful. Is it describing how the trash smelled, or is it describing the smell? Okay? How the trash smelled would be an action, so that would mean I need an adverb. If it's the smell is a thing, okay? And if that's what it's describing, then I need an adjective. Well, think about what it means to say how the trash smelled. That's basically saying the trash is going around sniffing things, right? It's smelling, right? That's not what you're trying to say. It's not how the trash is going around sniffing things. It's basically describing the smell, right? The smell is bad. Okay, so this one's very, very tricky. But by deciding, right, is it describing how the trash is going around sniffing things? No, that's not what I'm trying to say. So I'm not describing an action. I'm describing the smell of the trash, right? Which the smell is a noun, a thing. So I need an adjective like bad. So the real sentence should read, the trash smelled surprisingly bad. All right, so adjectives describe nouns, adverbs describe verbs, right? Just decide what is the adjective or adverb describing, and is that correct?